Not that I'm condoning breaking into roadside construction signs, because I'm not. Do it. The first item that I'm going to talk about isn't really a vulnerability, it's just a tip. These signs are really, 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 really easy to find. You don't have to drive around looking for them anymore. Your local Department of Transportation website has done that for you. Most of them are really helpful. You know, they want their drivers to know what's coming up. So they have a list of ongoing and upcoming construction, or as well as traffic jams, and they set up these signs there. So all you've got to do really is say go to nevadadot.com and go to their section called Major Products, Studies, and Programs that give a list of places and dates. Make a list of them, drive out there, and where am I? Yeah, okay. And then a few days before construction starts, chances are that you'll see one of these signs erected, and give you a time and let you know when the construction is going to come up and how much time you have to plan for it and the hours that you have to avoid. Once you find an electronic roadside construction sign, you want to have go to the access panel located at the back of the sign, and you would expect to see it physically secured, right? Well, most time it's not. Most of the time it's left wide open. Well, not literally wide open, but there's no lock. If there is a lock, it's usually a master lock, which we all know is really secure and can't be picked or cut off. Once the back access panel is open, you'll find a nice little control pad with a full keyboard and a mostly easy to navigate menu. The control pad isn't usually password protected, but if it is, it's usually left at the default password. But if you found that one of the DOT workers were pretty clever and changed it, they've made it easy for you to reset the password. And if you go to iHacked, it'll tell you what the default password is and how to reset the password. Like I said, my dad makes these slides for me, so yeah, don't be a dumbass. Although most of this may make hacking one of these signs sound like a cakewalk, there are some things you need to be cautious and aware of. The roads that get these cautionary construction signs are usually high in traffic, so be careful not to plan to go out during rush hour, or also if the sign you want to hack warns of construction, avoid going an hour before or after the hours that are listed on the sign. That way you don't have a DOT worker coming up to you while you're trying to hack the sign, especially since most of these sites have police cars by them. Be wary of signs that are in commercial areas. Many stores, roads, and traffic lights are equipped with security cameras. And finally, use common sense. Wear gloves and be as inconspicuous as possible. If you're the only blue or purple hair person in your town, wear a fucking hat. And I shouldn't say this, or I shouldn't have to say this, but there's probably at least one of you that lacks common sense or a sense of self-preservation. Don't drive your car up to the sign and use the headlights for light. Plan ahead, get a flashlight or a headlamp, and walk to the sign. Don't drive up to the sign. Next is something that at least a few of you know that I've been interested in for a few years now, and that's hacking the outdoor digital billboard network. These signs are starting to become more and more popular. They're only made by, well, mostly one manufacturer, but they're owned by, Clear Channel, and we love Clear Channel. There are still only 3 types of digital billboards that are commonly used, and they are ones with Verizon Telephone Network Interface, which have testing and wiring instructions inside the panel, and they're easily available and viewable by any passerby, and it suggests the presence of a basic go, no-go. Billboards that work wirelessly and have a nondescript box at their base, like the one you see in the picture over there, The existence of POTS combined with unencrypted wireless traffic poses security risks that have not been addressed by manufacturers. And finally, billboards with an unlabeled box at its base secured by a master lock. These contain a control panel or a place to plug in a laptop. Make it easy for techs who go on site to work on the billboards. So 2 years ago, I had a big presentation on just the outdoor digital billboard network. And each point I'm about to discuss has been verified by CISOs and techs from various companies that are associated with the evil assholes who run the majority of these billboards as known security concerns that have been expressed before but have had nothing done about them. Maybe one of them have been addressed, though, I've been told, but it's still an issue. There are two types of vulnerabilities, network and physical. The network vulnerabilities include packet sniffing, which is mostly applicable to the billboards with the wireless connectivity, war dialing for the phone ones, and open ports. The physical vulnerabilities that can lead up to the hacking of these billboards are social engineering of marketing and technical staff. You can still use the tried and true, I'm a college student and I am doing a marketing research, or I'm an interested consumer. If that doesn't work, you can always find either a disgruntled employee or one of their techs who are really, really into their job and like talking about it. In that case, it's only going to cost you maybe a couple of beers. Poorly placed security cameras. They currently have maybe 1 or 2 security cameras. One's posted straight at the sign to let them know if anything's going wrong with it. And another one pointed towards traffic. They don't have one towards the base to see if anybody's messing around. And there's nothing separating you from the base of the billboard. There are no gates, barriers, or prickly plants to keep you from messing around down there. And of course, you know, there's the master lock, which can be picked or cut off. So now that we've covered that, there is an update on this, as well as some things that should be noted if you were going to try this. What I didn't know before, and therefore couldn't present last time, was that companies usually use digital signage software that is ran mostly on XP machines. The software company that distributes the software actively discourages the use of Apple and or Linux machines unless there's an XP virtual running on it, because they think XP security issues are irrelevant. And that's actually a direct quote from their website. It's irrelevant. As far as notes go, if you do this, don't do it during peak hours or during the day. Be inconspicuous, and as always, mind the orange sticker. So the final example is something that I started to think about while I was flying down to Florida. I had a layover in JFK and had time to walk around and get food. While I was waiting in the redonkulously long Dunkin' Donuts line, I got bored. I noticed that all of the restaurants there featured LCD screens with interactive menus. Now, like most of you, when I get bored, my brain starts hatching evil ideas that usually get me into trouble. So that's when I realized, you know, these should be pretty easy to hack and display whatever I want to display on them. So, without further ado, here's some information I got while researching these, so you can take it and do with it as whatever you want. So, first off, I want to note that there are currently no known cases of these getting hacked. They're starting to grow in popularity, though, only in places like airports, busier fast food restaurants, as well as in movie theaters. The software used to control and design these is the same that is used by the digital billboards. So they are only run on XP machines. And they're locked in the manager's office. These offices feature our best friend, an unsecured wireless network. Field research has shown that if one were to sit either in the concession stand area with a half-full Coke or near the bathroom with a bored look on your face, but with a netbook on you, in both instances, one should be able not only to connect to the network, but view stuff that they probably hope you can't. Now, since not all of us can be super hackers like Gregory Evans, I'm now going to cover government responses to graffiti as well as the inherent legal concerns associated with graffiti. All right, we're going to start off with the United States. There have been many pieces of graffiti-related legislation passed. Many lawmakers view it as an expensive form of vandalism requiring repair of vandalized property. The following laws are examples of such legislation that was passed in the past 25 years in response to the increase of graffiti art appearing on the streets. In '84, the Philadelphia Anti-Graffiti Network, or PAGAN, was created to fight gang-related graffiti as well as commissioned murals from legitimate graffiti artists to be made at places that were common targets for gang-related graffiti. In '92, Chicago banned the sale and possession of spray paint as well as certain etching tools and markers. In '95, New York City officials created an anti-graffiti task force in response to the quality of life crime, which is what they consider graffiti to be. The task force consisted of law enforcement officials as well as politicians, who at that time also made it illegal to sell spray paint to anyone under the age of 18, as well as lock up spray paint to dissuade shoplifting. In '05, Pittsburgh created a database in order to try and link tags of known graffiti artists to instances of graffiti art in order to aid with the prosecution. And in 2006, Newcastle County of Delaware made the sale of spray paint and permanent markers to anyone under 21 illegal, following the example of a similar law that was passed and then quickly repealed in New York City earlier that year. Now, the US isn't the only country who has passed laws in order to deter graffiti artists. European countries, Britain in particular, have recently passed several pieces of graffiti-related laws and acts such as the Keep Britain Tidy was passed in August of 2004 and supported proposals such as issuing on-the-spot fines to people caught tagging buildings, as well as banned spray paint sales to persons under the age of 16. It also went so far as to condemn the usage of graffiti images in adverts and music videos, saying that it is separated from reality and should not be shown as cool or edgy. Later that year, 123 MPs signed a charter stating that they'll do what they can to rid their country of graffiti and fight against graffiti artists, including Banksy. In particular, was a main driving force for that year. And in 2008, a conspiracy charge was used to convict graffiti artists. 7 members of DPM were convicted with conspiracy to commit criminal damages that would cost at least £1 million. 5 received prison sentences and the rest were fined. In Australia, there aren't as many laws passed that ban graffiti as there were in Britain or in the US, but they definitely have some very interesting legal stances on it. They have anti-graffiti squads under their employ who are in charge of cleaning pieces of illegal graffiti. I specified the type of graffiti because Australia is one of the few places that have sections of the city that are walls that are dedicated to graffiti artists where they can legally tag and bomb if they want. Like everyone else, though, they have banned the sale and possession of spray paint for persons under 18. They have also made it so that if you're caught tagging, you can be fined up to 26,000 US or Australian dollars and get up to 2 years of jail time. If you're caught carrying spray paint without having a legal reason as to why, you can be fined up to 550 Australian dollars. There are several things that can be charged with when doing graffiti, including vandalism. If you're doing the roadside signs or the digital billboards, you can be charged with hacking. Trespassing, this is mostly applicable if you hop a fence or are caught breaking into the manager's office when doing the digital menus. Upsetting public disorder. James Powderly from the Graffiti Research Lab, as well as several other activists and bloggers were charged with this and got 10 days jail time during a Free Tibet demonstration in China. And murder. This is only a one-time occurrence. I don't know if any of you remember in Russia, a gentleman hacked digital billboards